What's up, guys? This is Jared from Build Kit Boards, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to set up your new Voyager V2 on the VESC. So to get started, you're going to need the new version of the VESC tool, version 6.05. So go out to the VESC tool website, linked in the description, and download that, and then open it up on your computer. So it should look exactly like this or very similar, just depending on your screen. So to get started, you're going to need a couple of things. Of course, you're going to need the remote. You're going to need the receiver and the CAN bus cable. You're going to need a VESC ESC, whatever you're using. And of course, I just have a battery here a railcore battery to use during the setup. And then you're going to need a cable to connect from your computer to the ESC. So to get started, I'm just going to plug that in and we'll get going. All right. So I'm plugged one end into my computer, one end into my ESC, and that's perfect. So as you can see, it popped up on the VESC tool, and we're just going to connect to that here. And then the first thing to do, if you haven't done already, if it does not say firmware version 6.05 here, you need to update the firmware. So you just click download here. It will update up to 100%, and then the ESC restarts. So when it restarts, you come up here to Welcome in Wizards, and then you just click connect again. So just to make sure everything's good, it will show firmware version 6.05 here. So if you have that on your screen, then you're good to go and proceed to the next part. So it's pretty easy what you need to do. So you're going to go to Lisp BM scripting, and then you're going to open the file, which is in the Voyager Lisp scripts that we downloaded from the main GitHub when we updated the firmware. And we're going to go into receiver remote, and then we're going to do local server ESC. So that will show us the Lisp code for the ESC, and then we're just going to click on upload. And you just also want to make sure auto run is checked here. It should be by default, but just to make sure. It will then parse some characters, and it shouldn't take very long to upload. Okay, so we're going to let that be where it is. And then we just need to set some of the ESC and app settings. So everything is configured already. I just have this motor here to use with the remote to make sure everything actually works properly. So I'm going to get that guy plugged in. Okay, so I'm just going to hold this while we do it. And then to plug the receiver into the ESC, you just need the two cables. You need to use one of the CAN bus ports. So we're using this via CAN. You can also use PPM, which you would use the port over here on the right side near the 2-pin connector. But we're just going to use the CAN bus port here. So we're going to use the one on the left. And if you have another CAN-enabled device, you can plug it into the bottom. So you can kind of use this as a splitter in between. And then I'm just going to go ahead and plug in this to my ESC. Okay. So I just plugged the receiver into the ESC, and as you can see, it says it's not connected anymore. I did mess with the USB cable a little bit when I plugged it in, so I'm just going to go ahead and connect to it one more time. Perfect. So as you can see, the receiver is showing up down here in the CAN devices in the bottom left, and I'm just going to go into the app settings general. So this needs to be changed to no app. So that should be no app. And then all of the CAN status messages here need to be checked. So you need to have 1 through 6 checked and CAN message rate 1. They all need to be done. Once it looks exactly like that, we're going to go over to the VESC remote tab and select current from there. So if it's set to off, you just set to current. And then we're going to download the settings. So you press the downward A and everything should be set there. So as you can see on the remote, we have the proper voltage now. If it's not showing the proper data, you need to make sure that you have all of these CAN status messages checked and the no app. Perfect. So we're showing the right voltage. It shows the battery voltage up in the top. So that's all good to go. So the remote should come pre-paired. We did pair it in the QC testing, but if not, we're going to navigate to the settings menu. Takes a minute to open up, and first thing we'll actually do is we'll calibrate calibrate the throttle. So we're just going to push it fully forward, fully backwards, fully forwards, fully backwards, and then click save. So we do that twice, and then we hold the save button. So the remote is calibrated. Let's see. So then we're going to go into the pair menu, and we have one up already. So it's saying it found a MAC address, which is perfect. If it's not doing this, cycle the power on the receiver. So you can just unplug the receiver and plug it back in, and then the MAC address should be found. So everything else is pretty easy. I'll go into a little bit more in-depth video later on to show you exactly like what each menu section does, but this is just getting you set up and going. And then a lot of people have an issue. They'll be like, hey, this doesn't work, you know? And we actually set up a safety feature. So you have to press the throttle in, the speed will turn green, and then it works. Perfect. So it'll continue to stay green, and then it will time out. So if we let that go, it will time out and it will turn back to white. So now it's back to white and it doesn't work. So the braking will still work. So the braking is still going. And why this is going is because smart reverse is enabled to true. So if you want to disable this going in reverse, then you'll need to turn that off, which I will show you here in a second. So everything is set up properly. We have the right data. Everything looks good. And I will just show you how to quickly turn off the smart reverse. So as you can see, even when it's white, the brake will still work, but the remote or the motor is spinning backwards. So if you don't want this, you just turn this value to false. You click app config, you download the app configuration, and now you can see when you do the braking, it doesn't actually go into reverse. So everything should be good there. Of course, you can change your positive and negative ramping settings here. Everything will take into effect. And in the next video, we'll go through a full walkthrough of the remote itself to show you how to get into the nitty-gritty of the details, how to switch riding modes, how to go through the menu and navigate things, and all the detail will be there if you have any questions about how to actually use the remote. But if you guys have any questions in the meantime, please drop them in the comments below, and I look forward to the next video. See you guys.